Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Travis Told You, December 11th, 2025, here on a Thursday. And yes, thank you to everybody. I didn't know when I was doing the Travis Told You. We're waiting to see because there was a bunch of, we might get the Avengers trailer, we might get the Supergirl trailer, it might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday. Didn't really know. We woke up to no Avengers trailer. We are waiting for the Supergirl trailer, but woke up to no Avengers trailer. Who knows? People say, that could be next week. It might be exclusive to Avatar, which is like, oh, God, because uh, I guess that's where I am with the MCU, right? I'm not in a state where I think usually I would say, I'll go buy a ticket and then watch. Like, buy a ticket, watch Avatar, or buy a ticket, watch it, and leave. It's like, I'm not in a state where it's like, I think I could wait a week. Like, I don't know if I need to make the trip. Like and I do think the teaser is going to be very just kind of teasery, right? So, but what I was going to say is we were trying to wait because if we got the Avengers and Supergirl with the Avengers, I would have done and waited for the boys. But doesn't look like we got that. So it's just me talking Supergirl. I'm sure we're gonna get the other guys' opinions. Maybe even tonight we'll get their opinions. But waiting, I've got about 6 minutes here live. Let's see. Hopefully, Lucas Jones says, "Let's go." Hopefully, we see Lobo and Krem first glimpses. I imagine you're gonna get Lobo. I imagine Krem, sure. I think so, but I think Lobo could even be like an ender, like an end stinger of the teaser. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I'll be covering that, and then later on tonight, I don't know for sure. Looking like Christmas Day online release for Avengers. Hey, yeah, that's what I've seen. But like, I guess for me, it's just we know it's gonna leak. So like, I will easily watch the cam leak, right? Like, remember that happened with Superman, where it's like the first 5 minutes or first scene with Minecraft, like exclusive in theaters, it leaked and then they just dropped it. I don't know if they will do that, the MCU or Feige or company, whoever's in charge of social media and marketing. Maybe they'll just say, let the leaked one out there, but. I think that's where I am, where because I'm not seeing Avatar, I'm officially not. That's Kirkland Taylor. Just that runtime, man. It's just, and I also just did this week. I talked on the newscast. We are Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. So 4.5 hours of the year, which I liked and had a great time. I This is a lot for me, and especially I feel like most of the reviews have been like, if you really like those first two, you'll like this. If you don't, this might be the weakest of three. It's like, I don't even think I'm gonna see it in theaters. Like, I don't dislike Avatar. I don't hate Avatar. I'm not like somebody that's like, oh, why does everyone like these? I understand that, but just 3.5 hours just in my current life, that's a lot. If I didn't have a busy life, then yeah, sure, I love going to see movies, and I like the movies enough, and visually I'm sure it's going to be great. But yeah, there will be a review for that next week. But then yeah, later tonight, we haven't announced it yet. We're for sure covering the Game Awards, so look out for that. Hopefully some big juicy gasoline filled stuff tonight. Dylan might do a watch along. He's a TBD. You'll know later on today, but he might do a watch along. Let's see. So it says, I've heard that this one goes heavy on subtitled whale dialogue. I heard this one goes heavy. What the fuck? It is early for me, so I'm going to read this again, I suppose. I've heard that this one goes heavy on subtitled whale dialogue. If it's a reference or joke, I'm not getting it. I'm too tired. If it's literally some but whale dialogue, I don't understand. But there you go. You're seeing it to Mike 11:40 a.m. Blue Aliens next Saturday. Oh, and Avatar 3. Okay. I was so lost, man, because I was talking about Supergirl. I know I was talking about Avengers, but because I was talking about Supergirl and Avengers, I was like, whale dialogue, like that's a bold choice. Okay, cool. And yeah, the whale like is fine. Like again, nothing I have to do with that amount of time. So getting back to Avengers and Supergirl, which will be in 3 minutes. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to react to it. I guess a rundown tonight, Video Game Awards, we're breaking that down. There might be a watch along, so just look on your feed if you want to watch along. If he does do that, I'm going to try to join. Same thing as Video Game Awards, I'm going to try. All depends on if the twins go to sleep A-okay. Last few nights they have. So look out for that. Lots of good Video Game Awards coverage. In the next day or so, we'll drop our Knives Out spoilers review, so that'll have that there. And then our It finale review this weekend as well. And then the Gimmick, me, S-Bubs, and David are covering John Cena's last match and Saturday's main event and some other AEW Continental Classic stuff on the Sunday, 11 a.m. PST as of right now. Looks like that's the time, but yeah, I'm at a state right now with the Avengers Doomsday stuff that I'm not gonna be, I'm not hyped, or I'm not like, okay, actually, I'm not hyped, but I mean, like, of course I'm hyped by the idea of it, but I'm not on that like wavelength where it's like Avengers Endgame is like, or even Infinity War. It's like, oh, I gotta see that trailer. I watched the leak trailer from Comic Con Infinity War, right? And that's the thing where but here's the thing. Back then, if there was, oh, you could see in trailers or theaters, I would have taken a drive, bike ride, went to go do it. Now I'm like, I'll see it. I think what I hate about that for us is like views wise, it sucks because you're gonna have some people that watch the league, some people that don't. So putting out the episode, I don't know. Kirkland and Taylor will be seeing it, so I'll talk to them. They already got a late review, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'll watch the leak. My hope is it just leaks and then they just release the full thing. If they want to release it, whatever exclusive Christmas Day, fine. Wait, and I'm not opposed to the whole exclusive theatrical window for a trailer. It's just we just know how this goes, right? This doesn't work anymore. It just gets everywhere. Everyone sees it, and it's a bad copy. It's not. It's not the way it used to be. People don't have that decency not to record it, right? If I knew that, where it's like, okay, I can't see it no matter what, then maybe big okay. And honestly, it's more for pure content wise, unless I heard what was in said trailer. But I don't know, because I just think the trailer is going to be very much like the first Endgame or last Endgame trailer. Or no, it was the first one, right? Where it's like a lot of old clips and a few new stuff. I feel like this one's going to be more just an announcement trailer for people that don't know, right? Only the cool kids are more hyped for the Supergirl trailer. I'm with you, Mike, because I am curious what we're going to get here as far as the look, the feel, seeing more of Amelia Alcock. I am more excited for the trailer. Now, the movies, we'll have to wait till we get there, right? Because let's say that Doomsday trailer looks great, then it's like, okay, Or things like they have the advantage of, oh, Tobey Maguire and Downey, in a scene together. Okay, let's see what that's like, right? But I digress. So what I'm going to do is we got a minute here. Once the trailer is live, I will bring it up here. It's going to be quiet, not too much noise, because I have my bad microphone cord right now, thanks to Taylor. Check out last newscast. We're gonna watch that, and then we're gonna break it down. We go scene by scene, and then anything else. They put a press release for anything else, official synopsis. Who knows what it might be, but we'll see right here. So, and I'm just gonna watch, react, say a few things. I'm not gonna be doing backflips or anything like that. I'm not. I'm not reaction. I did a couple of them. Yeah, because see, there's people like I've spoke to James Gunn and Peter Safran. Okay, so there we go. I will. There's some other articles already dropping for Supergirl, so we're gonna break that down. All right, teaser trailer is available. So obviously, if you're gonna watch it first by yourself and come back, absolutely, I get that because I never watch it this way, but I'm here, so I'm here. But here we go. So I'm gonna bring it up. Let's do this. Share screen. Chat's popping off, and this is the live broadcast, so I hope it's like a good enough quality. But all right, here we go. Oh, that was for the minute counter. Okay, like I said, it's gonna be low and also low, so hopefully we can monetize this thing. Warner Brothers is the worst for their trailers and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm at 10 seconds now. So after 10 seconds, it's gonna play. Wait a second, I'm not even. There we go. Put that up. Get rid of the chat. All right. About to play now. Here we go. Let's see what this is all about. Okay. All right. Yeah, crypto, some liquor. Yep. Oh, Jesus. Call me Blondie. Great.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy.
Shout out to Zoolander.
Cars are out. Hereby declare
The subtitles are awful for the live.
23 will be the best year yet. Let's be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar to clear.
Millie's looking fantastic in this.
I didn't know any of you were still alive. What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Okay.
Her Tom didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind. Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Do others on your planet have powers like you?
No, it's a pretty small group of two.
What Superman?
Oh, yeah.
sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Very good trailer. Very good trailer. I wanted to go back there too. I thought there'd be more of the big guy there, the main man, but there was just a little glimpse of Momoa. Where is it here? There's two shots of a big dude emerging from the shadows. So there you go. I'll go over a few things what I like about this trailer in a second here. No, actually, I'm muted here. Let's see. So there he is. Honestly, it's one of those things where all the also you just see a little bit of him here, right? But it's like all the fan art of like what Jason Momoa could look like as Lobo. Like I like honestly, it's a small image, but it's like yeah, that's exactly what he'd look like. Like they nailed it on the head, right? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm surprised. I guess this one's more about similar to like if this is gonna be attached to Avatar, things like that. This is the announcement, right? Supergirl, and I think the big thing is, and we'll go back to the very start trailer. It's kind of like what we've said, where, and I have not read Woman of Tomorrow. I plan on. I think we're probably gonna do a comic book versions for it because the Predator one we did pretty well. I guess I'll say better than we expected, but like just like kind of what we were looking for. And there's a couple of ones we want to. So I haven't read it. I'd like to read it with the boys, so we might be doing that. But this stuff, nothing surprise. Okay, alcohol bottles, liquor, all that stuff. Right? She's down and out. We get that from Superman, right? So this is just establishing more of that. Lots of crypto in here. I feel. I wonder in a sense that. I'm curious to see the online reaction to this trailer. I guess I should say, really liked the trailer so far. I think it's what it is doing a good job of, like what we talked about. It's differentiating itself from Superman, but it's also to me seeing like obviously you got animated stuff, you got CW, but I'm speaking live action big screen, right? It's great to be seeing like a Superman, Supergirl, like Krypton character with these powers in different locations in space, flying against like a spaceship. Like Man of Steel did that obviously with Krypton, but then that got dead, right? And then most of the times, like what? Kal-El's, he's on Earth the whole time, right? He ends up in space a couple times to reheat with the sun, but that's about it. We don't go like full space opera or anything with him, right? And then in I'd say this like the Superman movie that we just got. The most is when he goes in that sort of realm, right? Remember like the multiverse realm, but we have not got lots of seeing a super powered person like to this degree, like the God Superman degree power in the space, and I think that's a good thing. So I think right away, obviously the vibe feels different, the tone feels different. I think that line of the trailer is really great as far as Superman sees the best in everybody. I see the truth. I think they're doing a really great job of differentiating the two between each other because that's the thing that Supergirl suffers from with a lot of other characters that are kind of just spin-offs or, you know, sidekicks or a family member. Is it just this person with a different color, this person a different gender, this person a different race, right? And I think, and I we've seen Supergirl be like that, right? Like, this is female Superman. Okay, cool, but that's not. That movie comes out nowadays, that fucking bombs, you know? And I don't even know how this is going to do. I think this is off to a good jump. I think this is looking like a very fun movie so far. I think obviously things like Jason Momoa's Lobo, other stuff they can propel forward as we get closer. But no, I'm liking it visually for the most part. I'm liking it. Oh, that's what I was going to say with crypto is what's interesting for me is I remember with pause on a bit of a better shot here. Yeah, at least get her. I remember obviously I feel like a big complaint with Superman. I was fine with it. I understood it, but a lot of the marketing was very crypto heavy. Oh, it's crypto this, it's crypto that. Where I feel like crypto is in this trailer, but it's not the main focus. The main focus is Kara, where crypto lots of times in some of the promotional marketing was that, right? I understood that because that was a way to get kids and families in the door. Lots of people love dogs. A superpowered dog, great, right? Maybe that was just because they want to establish him in live action as well, too. But still, it is interesting that, yeah, sure, it opens up with crypto, but he feels much less of a focus than he ever did with Superman. You know, we've seen the bar lots of times, and this is where already, like, I knew this from, like, I was somebody when we got the rumored cast list of the people in this for Supergirl, or whatever, for Superman, Supergirl, when they were cast as Supergirl. And I was always behind Millie. Lots of people were, but I was always behind her. That once I heard the name, like, this is kind of the one, right? And it's funny when James Gunn describes the story of he saw House of Dragons called Pierce Saffron and be like, this is Supergirl. Like, that's how when it wasn't out, she's in the running. It's like, yeah, for this type of Supergirl, right? I've not read the book, but I know exactly what they're going for. I've seen panels. I've talked to people that have. So I know exactly kind of the archetype, right? Not exactly, but I know enough. That's like Millie's the perfect choice. And then I was excited for that, but then once we got that scene, Superman, my hype level went way up. And even here too, just in trailers, she looks great. From the party moments to the subtle moments to just little things like this. Like, let's be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar when he's talking about passing 23. Like, I think it's gonna be a breakout performance. I think she's gonna be a lot of people's favorites. I think even if in the future, depending how this movie does, people would see her and kind of fall in love with her. The same way as like I feel about Amon and Miss Marvel. Unfortunately, they haven't put her on like a bigger project, right? Because Marvel's kind of bummed. Now, this is what's interesting too, that we're gonna get to use Kara as the gateway. And there's an article I'm gonna pull up in a second, so we'll see what more there. But we're gonna get to use her as a gateway to see what happened to Krypton and the destruction of it. And I love that line of, let's see, that line. What was it like to lose everything in a day? And what does she continue on? There's some more shots of Krypton. I'll get to it, but it's like, oh, gods aren't that nice, and it's not in a day. Whatever the actual line is, I'm paraphrasing, right? That's the other thing with her and why it's the darker side. Kal-El didn't have to go through any of that stuff, right? He just got to wake up. Now, don't get me wrong. He's clearly got his struggles, but he didn't go through the same stuff that she did, right? So I think that's a good gateway. I think that's also a good way of tying itself to the Superman movie, but not having to feel like you have to watch it. And it's kind of good when it's like, okay, with Superman, we don't want to get in the origins. We don't want to see him as a baby. We don't want to destroy Krypton. But then we'll do it kind of over here, and especially because with her origins is different than his, right? So I think it's a great call that they're destroying. It's a great call they're destroying Krypton, but it is in this movie. I think that's the way it is, and I think another smart thing: got Supergirl, make her look different. Throw in Krypto, people like him. Okay, refer to Krypton because people know that, but this is a new version, so that might get some people and even the classic people, right? So. Yeah, and then just that moment for screaming there. And then, yeah, all this stuff, that's that area right there. Obviously, this is not directed by James Gunn. It's just produced, and I think a lot of people are excited by that, including myself, that I have, up until this point, loved almost all the comic stuff James Gunn has done. I didn't love Superman. I didn't love Peacemaker. So I'm ready for a change. But even this shot right here, I'm sure there's even more touching up to do. But that's when I will say is, yeah, Superman has some stuff. There's a few, most movies nowadays have some stuff that are like, oh, no, it doesn't look the greatest. But for the most part, I think Superman looks probably better than the majority of MCU stuff we've gotten since Endgame. I feel like since then we know why effects have really gone down as far as just time management and everything, right? And that's what I'm looking for with these movies, to be a little cleaner, a little nicer. That's been the nice thing reports with Superman and this, where it's like, oh yeah, they finished, at this date, and there's all this time till, like, all this post-production time till when it releases, but it's looking good. This planet right here was giving me vibes like Guardians 2 planet, not as like poppy and whatnot. And obviously that's one thing I've seen a lot of, like even Taylor brought up, like lots of it's funny, it's not James Gunn, but you kind of get that vibe of she's Star-Lord-esque. These are very Ravagers type of people, but I think it just happens to be stuff that he's interested in, right? And that would make sense why that story would kind of pertain to him, right? Good line here. Doesn't look like this is going to end well. And then for you guys, so that's all fun, liking all this stuff, looking great, fun action here. Like the font, so you got that going on. But yeah, this is what I mean, like seeing a superpowered person like this, like right here where she's flying in just like this kind of space town. She uses her eyes in a second here. Like, it's visuals and stuff. Like, yeah, this big spaceship here, we didn't get enough of that really ever, right? We've just started to get that type of stuff nowadays in comic movies as far as these bigger scopes, and I understand because budgets, etc. But with Superman, we got a little bit of it in the Zack Snyder ones, and then I'd say a little bit of it in the James Gunn stuff, right? Also, like him fighting a kaiju, like this is the stuff we do want. I'm always down for the, the Walking Phoenix Joker, or Robert Pattinson's Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman, where he's a bit more grounded. But I'm also down for a big fair if it's done well, of course. Let's keep going on, see if there's anything else. Just looking emotional. There's that Guardians Planet. There's Lobo. And this, I liked that shot. Okay, two last shots I like, except for the last one. It's her breaking the sound barrier. Okay, cool, classic Superman type of thing. We get to look at like the full outfit there. Oh wow, We get to look at the full outfit there with the sun, everything like that. So I don't know if this is a flashback. I don't know if it's before. So I think that was smart to show it off there. There was just something about like that scene where it's like she has like a rod and it has a string and it has like a big piece of metal and she's like pulling it. Wasn't like a man, like that has to end. And it's like it didn't have a stinger after. But like Mike says here in the comments, it is great. And that's something James Gunn has been doing since day one. Is right there, has a writer director based on characters from DC, and then boom, read where it all began. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is great because at the end of the day, he's still running DC Studios, but like, you know, you still want DC overall to do well, right? And why not sell a couple comic books? And I don't care if people go, oh, you reveal the twist, you reveal that. Obviously, they're not always like billion-dollar movies, but how many movies are there that are massive hits that are based off of books that people don't read, right? Like, it to me, that's one of the silliest arguments because I saw that with like Matt Reeves' Batman with Mask of Phantasm, right? It's like, well, everyone would know the twist. We would know the twist. We, the people listening to this podcast, would know the twist. And at the same time, it's like, one, I'm always down to see how it's done. Two, they might not do it exactly. And three, majority of the people would not know the twist. Same thing with Supergirl, things because I've heard there's some stuff that happens. We would not know the twist. So that's the thing where it's like, we'll read it before, and that's fine. It's just, I've never understood that argument when there's lots of books. Like, same thing with Lord of the Rings, right? Like, massive franchise. Well, I'll say massive trilogy when that happened, but like those books were out forever. People knew those stories. I didn't at the time. I saw the movies then, read the books after. But it's like, if it's done well enough, you know, people are gonna go out to it. So Superman Mike says, loved it. Seems like it has the tone of the comic book pretty good. Okay, that's good to hear. Also, major credit. Yeah, actually promoting the comic at the end. Yeah, that's very nice to see. I suppose says, I can see the next trailer being Super Bowl. I don't know if it will be because remember Barbie didn't get one and Barbie was a success. And I thought there was reports online that that's why they didn't do Superman. Remember with Superman, they did just the Puppy Bowl. They did just the Puppy Bowl. And I think that they might have it at the idea as far as, Barbie. I think it was like, was it the same year? Because Flash got a Super Bowl trailer, right? Ate shit. Barbie did not. Base movie that year. I thought there was reports that's why it was Superman. They just did the Puppy Bowl and some stuff around there, but they didn't do a full trailer because obviously that costs a lot of money, right? I think they were like, Flash and Barbie kind of proved. Yeah, you forgot about it. Yeah, no, that's why I think that we won't get one there because I think Warner Brothers is kind of like, Super Bowl is a bit too much. It's like the fucking Game Awards, right? To pay $1 million for some sort of trailer. It's like, I get it, just got to pay for this stuff, but it's like it's a little ridiculous, right? So. Yeah, I don't think that. Let me see. Let's go first showing, and then after this we'll bring up this article, and I'll see if there's more articles. 2026 because this is out in June, right? Did that have the date on it? That trailer? Hang on. Oh, there it is. Okay, it did. Okay, dumb me. I see in theaters like that. That was a mistake. Okay, so June. So it comes out the end of June. Hey, and then. It'll be attached to Mandalorian and Grogu, but that can't be the second trailer, right? Because that's too far. It's not going to be in January, and I doubt it's going to be in February. So let's look at spring releases. So you got The Bride. That's a Warner Brothers movie. That's not really like, I don't think going to be a big movie, right? But like you could attach it to that, and not the same audience either. But you got Project Hail Mary, which I just don't know how that's going to do. I know people are excited, but I just don't know how it's going to do like money-wise. I think what my prediction is, if this is obviously it's not when you say attached to Avatar, it's not attached to Avatar the same way Avengers, like if it's exclusive, right? But it's gonna be playing before Avatar. If I had my prediction, S-Bubs, I would say you could get something before again, because even this is cutting it close. So you probably will, but I'll just say that they will have a trailer out for March so they could play this in front of Super Mario Galaxy movie. That's my prediction. And yeah, they could do the Puppy Bowl again. They could. I thought that was kind of a waste because I don't think they did much. It released like I think it was like a 15-second scene or something. It wasn't nothing. But that's my prediction, is that it's out the week of or it's out before Super Mario 2. Because I feel like I'm not saying this is like a kid family movie, but it's still the way Superman where this one's going to... It's tough because I've heard the aesthetic's more adult-like, right? So that's where... How do you want to play this? But if you just want to go for the most eyes... and say fuck it, then you put on Mario 2, right? It's like the same thing as Wuthering Heights. Obviously, other than there being some romantic aspects to the Wicked story, when I saw Wuthering Heights, like, okay, that's quite the audience, but it's just you want to get as much eyes on possible. So I still, that would be my prediction is March, but it's to make sure that it is on Super Mario 2. Because after that, because then that's like March, and then it's like April, May, June. Because like I said, you don't want to put it on um, Mandalorian and Grogu. Like you can put it on there, but you don't want to release it for that because that's May 22nd. That's a month. I guess Michael, but I just feel like that is at least with Wuthering Heights and Wicked, I can see the like, okay, there's some romance crossover there, right? Between the two franchises, why people might like Wuthering Heights and Wicked, or they're like classic stories. With with Michael and Supergirl, even though I think Michael's gonna be huge, I don't see it. So that's my prediction is sometime in March. I don't know what else it would be because we don't get Lantern, so we'll see. But yeah, they could do the Puppy Bowl again. We'll have to see. But yeah, overall, I liked the trailer, and yeah, I think it's a good start. I think people will enjoy that. I still don't know how this movie's gonna do because it's multiple things as far as Supergirl is still not the most like biggest character. I still wonder if people want to keep seeing Superman, Supergirl, and the Man of Tomorrow. Like if they're like, I just did this, but I'm hoping it's gonna break out. But at the same time, it's like we were just talking about this in the Discord yesterday, which go down below, join the Discord. And if you want to listen to this episode ad-free, join the Patreon right now because you get that. Right now, you can get our Christmas retrospective early, which is Silent Night, Deadly Night. Patreon producers, you're getting episode 5 months early. It's an exclusive episode. Patreon producers, you get our Star Wars Rise of Skywalker commentary track now, man. It was a fun one. But like, okay, so June, right? Even Mandalorian and Grogu, let's say it does well. That bleeds into June 5th because like I think Masters of the Universe is going to eat it, and then Scary Movie 6 is going to do what it does, right? But right now, June 12th is, I see what Claire's talking about, is The Dish, maybe Disclosure, who knows, the Spielberg movie, Toy Story, and Supergirl. But that's where it's like, it's tough for both those, right? Because I feel like for Masters of the Universe, Mandalorian Grogu was at the first week. I feel like that could take away from its box office. For The Dish, I feel like with Toy Story 5 out the next week, even though it's not an adult audience, that could take away from its audience. Even though I'm loving the Dish / Disclosure poster. I loved that poster and loved the billboard of it, so that's great. But Toy Story 5, still, it's not so much of like, because nowadays I think it used to be, okay, that's a kid's movie, right? No one's going to go see a kid's movie. Like, not that, but like, oh, the Alien Spielberg people movie, that's an adult movie. That's who's going to see that. That Toy Story is for the kids. You know why it's not the case anymore? Because people go to the theaters less, so they're going to be picky and choosy. And two, there's a lot of parents that obviously have to go see Toy Story with their kids. I can't say excited. I'm curious about it. Have to go see Toy Story with their kids. I love the original trilogy. That to me is up with Lord of the Rings. And I've talked about this before. I own the very expensive replicas, like the 2-size replicas of Woody and Buzz. I love that, but it doesn't even matter. People will have to go see that. So it's like, okay, I as a parent got to go check it out. So I can't go see Disclosure or The Dish. And then after that, that's where it's with Supergirl. I worry, to me, it's a double because Supergirl is sandwiched in between Toy Story 5 and Minions. That is not a great place because that's all. And then 2 weeks after Minions is Moana, right? So they would be better to try and go for that older audience, actually. I know said they should still have in front of Mario, but they should have it. Maybe it is like on Friend of the Bride. Like they should try because I feel like the kid audiences are going to be elsewhere for that movie. So we will see. Let's see if I can find something. There's an article that came out here from Comic Book Resources, or is it Comic Book Resources? I don't know. Let's see if I can find. Oh, it's one of these. I know why they want to do it, but like, I like when people bold the question and then there's the answers. This is just like a whole bunch of article there and everything like that. So let's see here. Okay, so let's read. I'll see if there's any like. Okay, there's a couple. Because okay, let's see if this article has anything here. Let me just check my notifications too, just make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, Zootopia, across $1 billion. Good for Zootopia. That's very fast. Let's see here. I don't think there's anything from this trailer. Okay, so then I'll quickly read this article, and then Maddie sent a question. So, let's see here. Okay. I don't know why. Okay, so they're just talking about Supergirl. It was at the end, Superman. It was so fun. Recalls Peter Safran. Every time we screened the movie, she was on there for 12 seconds, but when she appears and kind of stumbles, and everyone's reaction was so Effusive? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. According to Saffron, the DC theatergoers made abundantly clear that Superman is what their appetites for. Make it clear that Superman whet their they spelled wet wrong. Whet their appetites for more Kara. We obviously are consistently mining information for what people like, what they, and what do. My God, I'm fucking up big time, Dave. We obviously are constantly mining information about what people like, what do they not like. See, it's not. It literally says what do they not like. I get about what do they not like, and what do they want more of. Well, sure. Like, I just feel like I'm not trying to do like the James Gunn thing where he said something that's like, oh, that's a little odd, but it's like they are already making the movie. So like in the way it's like, oh, in the 12 seconds that made a theater goers made it abundantly clear that Superman whet their appetites for more Kara. I get what they're saying, but they're making it sound like, oh, because of Superman we made this movie. It's like, no, you're already making that movie. You know, that was already a thing. So let's see. And the studio plans to deliver, finding the perfect Supergirl. I think you got a sense of it from watching in the teaser, but Kara is a different character than her cousin Clark, right? Saffron told CBR. He was raised by loving parents on Earth when he was a baby. She spent 18 years of her life watching the planet die, okay? And she has a lot of trauma that brings into the movie. I think that very much is reflected in the movie itself. Whether her starting point is... where her starting point is a very different place than where we met Clark, which I've always loved that dynamic, even the original ones, right? It's kind of weird where it's like she's older than him, but kind of gets frozen sort of time heading to Earth, so then he becomes older than her or same age. It's a very weird, like, fucked up sort of dynamic there, right? Like, in a good way, but I knew that Millie was something special from the moment she first auditioned, Gunn told us. Which is really fun thinking back on it because my wife Jennifer Holland played Ruth during the auditions. Oh, that's fun. She played Ruth in all the emotional scenes to give us. Oftentimes, whether it's Jen Holland, Freddie Storma, or Terrence Rosemont, who plays Otis, they often read the roles when I'm screen testing in Atlanta. Okay. I'm sure that's going to get people hot and bothered. Oh, Jen's there reading the stuff. It's like, no, Jen's a good actress, his wife, whatever. So Jen was reading it with Millie. The only person that's shorter than Jen is Millie, and she's treating it like her little kid, and they're crying and all this stuff, and it's crazy. But the scenes were so emotional. Saffron agreed with the sentiment that DC Studios knocked it out of the park the moment they landed Alcock, which I agree with, who most people know from House of Dragons. It was instantaneous because we've talked about her for the first... We've been talking about her for the entire time we were developing the movie. She auditioned really well for it. We saw the first audition and we were like, phenomenal. We loved it, which is so fun. Like, there's two ways that can go, right? I do feel bad, as I said before, for the other actresses because, like, it sounds like you didn't have a shot. But at the same time, imagine you're like, this whole time you're thinking, hey, this movie, we really want Millie Alcock, and then she auditions and just fucking sucks. Like, good for them that it worked out, right? We brought her in for a screen test with one other actor in her audition. We cried. We literally cried at her screen test while we were shooting it because it was such a beautiful scene she was doing. Really emotional, and it was just so obviously her. It was one of those perfect fits. We talk about this all the time. They didn't say who said that. He continued. I'm not sure who. I think it's Saffron now. We talk about this all the time with all these movies. If you can get the perfect fit of an actor character, like Jason Momoa was awesome as Aquaman, and Gal Gadot was great as Wonder Woman. If you can get that fit, it makes it a lot easier. And she can fit the character that was written by Tom King and adapted by Anna Noguera. She was just that character. It was incredible. Interesting dropping the Gal Gadot thing there, you know? Just thought, even Momoa, it's weird. Like, you know, him as Aquaman was perfect. Is he Aquaman anymore? No. Okay, we're not certain how faithful director Greg Gillespie's adaptation of the book will be. In the comics, Supergirl regularly comes to Ruthie's aid again and again in the series of episodic adventures. Realize the young woman is way overhead, but Kara also understands that Ruthie's not going to stop until Krem is 6 feet under. We can confirm that Gillespie is making a few changes to the narrative, which, yeah, again, like I was talking about before, you're adapting the book. You can change it all up, right? In the Supergirl trailer, we got a brief shot of Jason Momoa as Lobo, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's Jason Momoa. Talk about a great fit, said Saffron. In real life, he is Lobo, so it's a perfect fit. Great. You kind of want actors that are volunteers, not recruits, which I agree with. Don't get me wrong. There might be somebody, the way and I think Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor, right? But technically, there are not technical, but in my opinion, there are actors that are better than Hemsworth, right? So yeah, you could get somebody that is a better actor than Hemsworth, and maybe get them for Thor, 1, 2, maybe in Avengers, but that's it. But if you can find someone that's a good to great actor and also is great for the role, or like they're saying, a perfect fit, and will do multiple things and want to yeah, I'm down to do this. I'm down to be here for 10 years. You do want that. So that's where, to me, it is a group effort where, sure, I don't think best actor is the easiest thing, because yeah, what if the best actor wants a bunch of money? That's gonna hurt their production, right? Or the best actor just wants to do a couple. If you can get the best actor that also wants to be there and be a part of it, I agree with them. That's a perfect statement where it's yeah, you want volunteers, not recruits. So I like that. I like that mindset for casting, because I feel like that just helps down the line too, where it's they're thinking they don't want to be Batman anymore, He just wanted to do it. He came in, we shot in England, he crushed it. He brought exactly what he wanted, and he made it his own as well. DC Universe is making DC as a universe is making things their own way. It doesn't just apply to the movies. DC television got experimental and explored the world. Matt Reeves is Penguin and the Penguin, yeah. Talking about the Absolute Universe. Peter Safran said they're doing incredible work, like they've always done. But I don't think of us as being tangibly involved. I think of us as being really involved. That we're all in one creative unit, in a sense that we're doing on the DC side for film and television increases audience enthusiasm for all things DC. I agree. It increases their faith in what they're delivering is quality. We, the royal we, which I had to explain to what Taylor meant last night, everybody involved is delivering. I think it's going to be reflected when Lego Batman game comes out. I think it's going to be reflected in Lantras. I think it's going to be reflected in everything we do. Safran's excitement of the Absolute line, success of storytelling in particular, reflect the idea of rising tide raises all ships. Yeah. We were talking the other day, and I think the 3 or 4 top comments right now were DC. Normally, it's 2 of the top 10. 3 years ago, when we took this over, it'd be 2 of the top 10 that were DC. I think it just reflects to the audience leaning a little bit on DC. I see it. I really do. I think they're giving us a shot, which I agree. I think they're giving it a shot. And even, by the way, this with Superman, DC Comics was taking a wait-and-see attitude, and now they're okay, well, they're kind of... okay, well, we kind of like what you're doing. And then they saw the movie you know what? We're going to give you another shot. Yeah, maybe. And I feel really good about what we're doing. Yeah, there wasn't much to the interview. I'll see if there's any other interviews out there, because obviously that kind of happens once these things drop. But yeah, if you got any questions or anything with the trailer, let me know. But I will see if there's anything else out there right now for articles and stuff. And if not, then we'll call it there. I'll answer Maddie's question, but no, that's nothing there. Nothing there. I'll answer this while I'm looking. This says, do you think a movie where the main character is drunk for a big chunk of the runtime could be a hard sell for families with kids? Yeah. I don't think he was drunk most of the time, but he drank a lot and was always seeming like he's drunk. Different era, right, Mike? But Jack Sparrow, right? One of his famous lines is "Where's the rum? Why is the rum always gone?" Right? So it's one of these things where, it has been done. And I watched the Pirates movies with my kids this year. They especially Gwen loved it, and it wasn't and I wasn't oh my god, they're drunk. Be careful. It's whatever. It's just a silly character, and they'll pick it up later on, right? Even then, there was some when we watched the Guardians Holiday Special and they get drunk. I think they just take it as they're having a good time. They're drinking some treats and stuff. So, yeah, I think let's see. And timeline for its director's cut. Okay, I'll have to look at that. There might be some other news going on here. But, yeah, I think... I think you can make it appeal to families. I think it's if there's darker stuff and how dark that character gets, but I'm just going to use Jack Sparrow like that. That was 20 years ago now, so things have changed. But I think you can make it work if they're lovable enough. That's one thing. I'll say though, I hear this gets a little darker at times. Jack Sparrow, I'd say for 90% of those movies is a lighthearted, having a good time. There's serious moments, but when things were actually dark, very few and far in between, right? And that kind of helps with the liquor and the drinking aspect, right? It's not as bad when it's oh, well, they're a fun drunk. If it's not a fun drunk, then, not as much. But let's see. DCU, okay, so there might be other stuff here. Okay, so yeah, I think there might be other articles I got from Gunn and that stuff. So this is about Clayface, but it's one of these things where people are doing, they're um, putting out multiple articles, even though it's like it's the same interview, but that's how they do it. So I get it. Yeah, your clicks. DCU creator. Why don't you say James Gunn confirms official rating and timeline for director's cut? In an interview, it was confirmed that Clayface will be rated R. Cool. Let's see. James Gunn. When was it here? Totally Originals said DC. Why does this not say who the fuck is saying these things? Is that some of the writing of these articles? Okay, in the interview with CBR, it was confirmed that Clayface will be rated R. Yeah, I think we'll get there eventually, but this is the whole storyline here. DC Studios co-president said to Sean O'Connell, "Nobody's expecting it. I see a director's cut in January, but I was on set a lot, and James Watkins, I think, is one of those best horror filmmakers out there. Speaking of evil, the way he ratcheted up the tension, it was great. But nobody, and I mean a true radar body horror movie from a combo company, and a great villain. It's an origin story of a great Batman villain, so it's really great to see that. I don't think at any point does it say who said this quote." It, it doesn't say. It just says Co DC Studios on. I think it might be Gunn because later on they do refer to him. But although it's in the same universe, it's a complete horror film. Gunn said to CBS Morning when explaining the object. No, that was from before. So yeah, there's nothing. I get it, man. You gotta get your clicks. You gotta get your stuff, and they got mine, right? Because I clicked it to see if there was something there of a note to read. But no, I think that's everything there. I think I'll do one more check here, see if there's any articles or anything like that. But I think that's everything. I'm sure more stuff will trickle out as things go along. So yeah, DC Studios getting their first full cut of Clayface in January. So there's other people. Okay, so that's the problem. I'm not going to click that one because that's YouTube. Peter Safran tells Brandon Davis the current cut of Supergirl is less than 2 hours long and in great shape, which I think is fine. I think there's some movies where we get and we're like, oh man, it's under 2 hours. That could be an issue. I think with Supergirl and what I've heard, that it kind of works, you know. Let's see if there's anything else. Sorry for the dead air. That's what the fun thing of doing it. Okay, so James Gunn says Supergirl is finally allowed to be messy, like male superheroes have been for a while. Okay, so maybe there's another interview with Hollywood Reporter. That's the problem. I think it is smart when people get an interview with somebody and they wait a little bit and then they drop it, because I think when all the stuff just comes out, all the quotes and lots of these aren't even aggregated at all, right? They're just like thrown out, like Gunn says this, Safran says this, and that's it. It's not like you don't get your clicks, you don't get your source. That might happen regardless, right? But let's see here. Oh, that's fun. They got Millie doing some fun promotion there at that. Because yeah, I guess they all went to this press event the same way they did with Superman, right? But I'll see if there's anything else here in this. I think it's just talking about Supergirl. Do you feel like you're in a much better spot? Asked Gunn. Hollywood Reporter asked Gunn. Oh, yeah, he said. Safran believes the franchise is a much different place. When we came a little bit of underdog. Okay. And that's the problem. They just kind of say like variations of the same thing, or people cover it in a little bit of a different way. So, yeah, I'll let people pick apart that stuff. I don't think there's anything big out there. And maybe something will come out by the time I'm done this. But Maddie asked... he asks, any Christmas movie you recommend beside the classics, right? Like for me, it's a classic, and I feel like we talk about it on Geek for so much that you'll know the answer, but it is The Night Before, right? The Night Before is the one that I don't think is a classic, but it is the one I recommend. I do have my ultimate Christmas ranking list on Letterboxd. I add new movies there. Another one, Maddie, let me check Letterboxd. I'm going to creep you out here and see if you've seen this movie. I don't know if it's not one that I'm going to say, like, I think you would watch and still enjoy it. I don't know if it's one that you would absolutely love. I think it goes in wavelengths there. But one that's becoming a Christmas movie I don't see on Letterboxd. So, Maddie, you should give this a shot. The Holdovers, man. That's one that I said this before. I saw a trailer for it. And Alexander Payne, like I like his stuff enough. I want to do a rewatch of some stuff or just stuff I haven't seen of his. But I saw the trailer. I was like, okay, this looks very Oscar baity. Like, just looked like a movie I was going to probably avoid until I had to, but It got nominated for Oscars, multiple ones. Giamatti was winning, so I went, okay, gonna check this out. The second I finished, it was like, this is going to be a Christmas movie, I think, every year because great Christmas vibes. And then I wasn't sure like how I'd feel about it. I watched it again with Emily that same year, and then every year we watch it. The Holdovers, it is, I think, that perfect amalgamation of things you go through, maybe not in one holiday, but multiples, where it is the Christmas vibe, it is the snow, it is the bright, Christmas colors, it's that happiness and what season can bring, but it's also dealing a lot with man. If you're alone or things are going bad holidays, it can really suck. So I feel like it's a good, and with Christmas, Thanksgiving, those type of holidays, as I try to bake into the kids, like what you want is, it's about being with people and having those moments. I've said this before, right? Where, it's like, it's a little sad to say, but it's like both my parents are still alive. Both Emily's parents are still alive. We have our siblings, everything like that. These are the prime Christmas times for us because we got all the kids and the grandparents. Like, these are the prime Christmas. Like, I had that epiphany last year when I just looked around. I'm like, man, there's gonna be, it's the way it happens. There's gonna be Christmases where my parents are around or her parents are around, and that's where it's like, man, I'm gonna miss waking up at her mom's and always having that same breakfast. And it's just like, for a while, because it's routine, you're just like, oh, that's what we do every Christmas, and that's where, luckily, I'm not at that stage yet. But I think that covers the stages when you don't have that, or you're missing family, or missing things where it's like, man, life can be really tough, and it is just dependent on other people too. It's not just you're by your lonesome. It's great to have somebody there to help you. And then this kind of all oddball of these three people that are put together. So I would say The Holdovers, Matt. It is more Oscar-y. It's more slower, but there's some good laughs. But that'd be my biggest recommendation, because I think The Night Before you've seen. But The Holdovers to me would be the biggest recommendation of a Christmas movie. It legitimately many times feels like it's shot back in the 80s. It had like that aesthetic. I love that movie. It's a movie that when I'm done, I could probably watch it twice a season so far. So I really like that. Let's see what the other one is. I think there's one we talked about. Same thing. I guess I can click on these to see if you had seen them before, Maddie. And this goes for anybody. It's a movie called Christmas with the Campbells. Big shout out to, yeah, you did. Okay, so Maddie, you've seen that. But for anybody else, Christmas with the Campbells. Big shout out to S. Bubs, who recommended this to me a couple years ago. People know this. Like, I absolutely me and Emily love bad Christmas movies. Like, we watch them, have a great time. If we see one get added on Netflix, boom, add to the list right away. We have a great time. Christmas with the Campbells is that. It's Brittany Snow. It's that guy from SNL and Justin Long. It's that type of movie, but it's like a parody of that. I've always wanted to do one like that in a different way. I don't want to say, but it's like a parody of a Christmas movie. It's a good time. So I would recommend that. Let me see on because I've been adding stuff on my list so I don't forget in the future. Another one, I'm not sure. I'll click on to see if you've seen it. I don't think it says. Me and the boys have been talking about this lately. If you want something a bit darker, a bit more heady, it is a Christmas. I'll say, like, it's tough. I don't think this is necessarily a Christmas movie, but the reason I put it over the Christmas line is because I think it has so much Christmas iconography and feeling and vibes. The story and the characters have nothing to do with it. Where Die Hard to me, it's like you could replace it with any holiday. It doesn't feel like a Christmas movie to me. Where this movie does, Eyes Wide Shut. Maddie, if you've never seen that, Stanley Kubrick, one of the greatest, not the greatest of all time. Watch that. It's a movie about Tom Cruise getting involved with a sex cult, and it's all Christmas. That's where just the aesthetic though, Christmas. There's this bar, like we have it. I'll bring it up quickly here. Well, actually, Maddie, he watched the videos, but right now for our Christmas background, when it's not the snow we got going on here, it's Tom Cruise at the bar, but he goes to this bar and it's like Christmas threw up. It's great. Like, and I've been wanting to watch it. It's a weird movie. It's one that I need to like. I can't remember what I gave it. I don't know how I feel about the movie per se. Like, I definitely a pass. There's just some great aspects. I really want to watch it again because last time we watched it, there is a retrospective. We did that as well too. Yeah, it's a different movie, but I really enjoyed some aspects of it. It's slower too, but yeah, so I'm gonna be watching Santa's Sleigh this year. When I watched first, I wasn't even a wrestling fan. Oh yeah, that's. I've not seen that in a very, very long time. So good on you. Good luck with that one. God, yeah, there you go. You can watch Santa's Sleigh there. And I guess the holiday and the other one, I guess, and Matt, it just depends too if you're wanting, like, it is more kiddie. I guess the other two I'd shout out that are not the classics. I shout out to somebody that did put it on there. Um, so as says, I remember, I think it was really fun. Yeah, it was. It's just very cheesy and over the top, right? So, and the guilty pleasure pick for Superman Mike is the Disney Channel movie "Twas the Night," starring Bryan Cranston. Yeah, that is a fun one. I remember I watched it when we got Disney Plus for the first time, and he's like the bad uncle or dad or something like that. He's kind of like a criminal. It's a fun time. So yeah, no, that's a good one. So yeah, if you're even looking for something kiddie, like not too kiddie, but it is more on the kiddie side, but I don't think so, is That Christmas. I've said this before. If you enjoy Love Actually, Maddie, it's like the animated version of Love Actually. It's like a bunch of stories all interlinking, but there's more kids and family. So, and don't get me wrong, there's jokes in there for adults. It's not like kitty kitty. I just mean like that is, more family animation movie, but I think it's great. And then if you've not seen this, Klaus. I love Klaus. I'm sorry somebody did put on the Christmas poll. I was rooting for it. Klaus is like an origin to Santa Claus and like how the tale happened. It's really good. I really liked it. I just remember at first being like, oh, okay, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Jason Schwartzman guy. So, but then I watched it. It's him and J.K. Simmons play Santa. It's really good. And that's one, Maddie, where that one is animated and like a kid and family could watch it, but it's more, that's like an Oscar Beatty anime movie. I think it won that. But Last Christmas with Emilia Clarke, I gotta give it another go. I remember watching it, and this didn't take anything really. I like her a lot, and I think she's charismatic in there. But I didn't leave being like, oh, this is gonna be a new kind of Christmas favorite. I thought it was just kind of okay. But there you go. That's a one to shout out. But yeah, that's my last one. Maddie is That Christmas and Klaus. That's the other one. And yeah, I think that's it for today. So everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to this Supergirl reaction trailer. And yeah, for that thing, pretty good. Happy with it. We're off to a good start. I feel good marketing. Let's see how everything goes. Let's see what comes next. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. So we'll be back later on tonight for the Video Game Awards. And I promise you, it will not be boring.